Okay. Get preference and levels of freedom wherever you are. Today being the 21st day of January 2024, being Sunday, I welcome you all to this very live broadcast today on BTV Europe. But why I am not on live on BTV is because of my schedule. So I'm connecting to BTV Europe and I'm here with our formidable comrade, Mazi Fearless Evangelist, which all know. Great Biafrans and lovers of freedom, from me, from here, it is good afternoon. Depending your time zone, I say to you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to so many of you. Great Biafrans and lovers of freedom and the friends of Biafrans. We are here today to deliberate on an important issue concerning our leader and the formation of the terrorist Mazi Allah's vigilante group across the contraction called Nigeria. That is the two important issues we are going to deliberate today. And this very broadcast is going to be an interactive broadcast today. As we analyze everything, then time for you to call in, we will let you know. But we are live on Twitter, we are live on Instagram, we are live on BTV, and I will advise every Biafrans and lovers of freedom and lovers of Biafrans to download BTV Europe on your very device so that you be connected whenever we are live. And we are live also on YouTube, but we are not live on Facebook because Facebook is fantastically corrupt. So we are not going to allow them to stop us from speaking out the truth or letting the world to know what is happening within us. So therefore, I welcome you all to this very wonderful program today. My name remains Lionman Leone, your formidable comrade. Some of you know me, and some of you doesn't know me as well. So therefore, this program commences now as I here to wait for our comrade Mazi Maduabuchi Fearless Evangelist to join us on this program today. But before he joins us, let me go on to say something concerning the continuously detention of our leader, which Court of Appeal was discharged and acquitted of all accusation against him. Self-determination is a right of the people. If any group or people or any race engages in self-determination, there is no crime against such decision. Like we all know, Nigeria is not functioning. And when something is not functioning and the good conscience people always get worried about such condition, which Mazi Kanu is one of these people that has conscience, that has a living conscience. Because we have a dead conscience, we have a living conscience. Let me explain it more better for people to understand. There are people that their conscience are very, 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 very fantastically corrupt. There are people that their conscience are very clean. And if we continue in this manner, which Nigeria is going to, the future of our children is in danger. And the future of Africa as a whole is in danger. And that is why we have sacrificed ourselves to make it right. Because in every society or in every given time on this surface of earth, when people need to be saved, God will not come down from heaven to do so. God will use us, his maker, to fix things. When God wanted to save the Israelites from their worry, from the persecution, he sent Yeshua, which the European changed, or in their own version of name, Jesus Christ. And he demonstrated that particular fearlessness before the face of those who wanted to slave the Israelites. And that is exactly what the IPOB today are doing through this excellent man. I call him excellent man, Mazi Kanu. But because of this conspiracy from all angles of the world, they have gathered their momentum against this particular man, and we are not worried about their conspiracy because we know the part of the righteousness liveth forever, and we have stand by him, and we are going to stand by him to the end of time. But one thing is assured: both those who are compromised or those who are money morgan, who prefer money than doing what is right. But they should remember one thing, that when the disaster will fall, it will fall on all of them, despite what they have taken. Despite what they have taken. Keeping an innocent man incommunicado for a period of time for speaking out the truth has always a consequence to bear. I am speaking to those who feel that they have arrived, or those who feel that they have succeeded in enslaving over 220 something million population that are being described as Nigerians. To have one thing in mind, that this very generation of Biafra have stand for justice, fairness, equity, and we are not going to quit until we see Africa survive, or Africa be free from the conspiracy of the wicked Britain. It is unfortunate that those we were looking up to speak out the truth have joined the team of this particular conspiracy against the development of Africa, simply because of fear of unknown. Most of them join because of fear. If I speak truth like Mazi Kanu has spoken, like IPOB have stand, we will be discriminated, we will face persecution. But they forgot that if you speak the truth, you will die. If he doesn't speak the truth as well, you will die. Nobody come to this world to live forever. We have come to this world to live, and time shall come also for our departure. Nobody lives forever. This is one thing I want to remind the people. If you are a human being on this earth and you refuse to stand by the truth, know it one day, no matter your fear, because most of them will say, I can't do what you are doing because I'm afraid of my life. Of course, you are afraid of your life. But have you also think of what happened to that particular life you are trying to protect? If you go out there tomorrow as a man who will tell his family, I am coming, only to come back being carry you lifelessly and come back to your house, or come back or go to the mortuary. Have you think of that? The life you live does not belong to you. The life you live belongs to Chukwukika Abiyama, God of all creation. That's why I'm not afraid of anything. I've come out in this very journey believing that anything can happen. If God wants to preserve me to stand for the path of righteousness, then his name glorified. If it is will for me to go, his name also glorified. So one thing I want to ask is this. I firstly let me thank the two judges who distanced themselves from being part and parcel of the conspiracy against the innocent man. I want to thank them specially, these two judges who disagree for the conspiracy which the money was released to the judges. And they said, no, they are not part and parcel of this. They cannot participate on that. And this have caused the delay of delivering the copy of the reading of that judgment of 2023, 15th of December. Many does not understand what is going on or what is playing all this while. But this is the reason why every delay is there. Assuming those two judges accepted what they have given to them according to the directive of the British government against Africa, because everything they are doing is against Africa, Africa development. Assume they have accepted this particular offer, then they will turn the justice upside down against an innocent man, forgetting that they have each and every attempt or every activities you carry out against an innocent soul. God in heaven, who made heaven and earth and who made us, will also be angry against the land. So what am I trying to say here? Do not be in a camp where discussion of a an innocent soul will be. So what am I saying? So that people should be careful of what they do against the innocent souls. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Do not be the part and parcel of hurting an innocent soul. It has a very, very disastrous consequences to bear. And I am not surprised of this particular APC administration in carrying out or such plan against the innocent man. But one thing we are assuring them is justice will prevail. Through this disagreement of these two judges, justice will prevail. They will explain to the world what is that they are hiding, what is that they are intend to do that these two particular judges have disagreed with and say no, this cannot be done. If we do it, that means we have completely jeopardized the system of judiciary in a country which the sometimes I want to explain something to the people. The same people are saying that IPOB is against the unity of Nigeria, that they want to preserve Nigeria with all costs. They want to preserve something with all costs, which you are the one now. You are the one now, the engine room to disintegrate Nigeria. Because when you do not do something right, people will later join force with IPOB and say, oh, IPOB have been right all this while, and why we are against them. Tell me a man, a very or a good conscious man that would like to live in a place, that would like to live in a place where there is no justice. No man does it in this world. And I want to thank those people who are planning this evil against the innocent man, because more they are going in this direction of trying to engage in conspiracy against the innocent man, more they are giving us a very good move for our quest. And this is why I keep on telling people that what we are doing is divine. It's not ordinary. What we are doing or what we are engaged on is completely divine. Because if it is not divine, they won't continue to do what is wrong, that will keep on promoting our movement. It is the time of Chukwukikabiama that we all must go, so that every other people that have been caged in this particular contraction will have their way and survive as people and develop as people as well. Look at how Nigeria looks like, simply because of they cannot develop where injustice is reigning supreme. You cannot develop where fairness and equity is not being established. These are the things that bring in development. Tell me a foreign investor who will come and invest his millions of pounds and dollars in a country that his or her life is not secure because of criminality, because injustice establishes insecurity. Because when you do things right, the policing institution will do their things right. The army institution will do their things right. But when you doing things wrong, you will corrupt every angle and every system that made up particular nation. Great Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I think we have our brother that have been waiting for. Mazi Fearless Evangelist Madabuchi is here with us. Mazi Madabuchi, you are welcome. I welcome you to this very broadcast today, being the 21st of January 2024, this Sunday. Mazi Madabuchi, I would like you to introduce yourself to Biafrans and the millions of viewers around the world. Mazi Madabuchi, we are not live on Facebook. We are live on Twitter. As I'm talking now, people are seeing you on Twitter. You are live on YouTube. You are live on Instagram. And you are live on BTV Europe for those who have downloaded this particular app. And I want to seize this opportunity to encourage every one of us to endeavor to do what to download this particular BTV Europe on your device. Very, very important that when we are live, you will be able to join us and watch it live. Mazi Madabuchi, you are welcome. And I say to you, from here, it's good afternoon to you. So I would like you to greet Biafrans and the lovers of freedoms and the friends of Biafrans around the world and introduce yourself. You are welcome.
Thank you. Mazi from here. Good evening, dear friends and lovers of freedom all over the world. I remain the fearless IPB evangelist Mazi Maduabuchi. I am from Ndiabo. Ndiabo is in Aninri. Aninri is a local government in Ojiriba province, Biafra land. I am a homeland broadcaster. And Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. May Chukwukikabiama keep on empowering you and keep on protecting you. May it be your strength. I'm seeing your work, and the Biafrans around the world are seeing your work you are doing back home. I say, may you continue to be blessed because you have stand by the truth, and that truth shall save you. Mazi Madabuchi, I want to ask you a question very quickly. I want to ask you a question very quickly. On based on the outcome of the judgment of 2023, 15th of December, and the delay to deliver the copy of that reading of that particular judgment, I would like to ask you, what is your take that made them delay in delivering that particular reading of 15th of December 2023 about the case of the leader of indigenous people of Biafra? Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. The issue is that the very Supreme Court that was headed by, is it Ariwola, a Yoruba man, Chief Justice of Nigeria, they gave they made pronouncements that contradict the issues and put them in trouble. You know, one thing with the Fulani, they always want their agenda to stand. And the problem we have is the people that the Fulanis are using to carry on these very agendas. They are the people that I don't know how to put them, which the very Supreme Court judges are part of them. People who don't even reason. Maybe I got information that some of them, some of the Supreme Court judges are reasoning very fine, you know. But the issue is that the very pronouncement of the invasion of Nnamdi Kanu's house by the Nigerian army while he was still on bail, and his date of court has not even come, and also the also a serious matter, and the Supreme Court pointed at these very two things out, saying that Nigerian army unlawfully invaded Nnamdi Kanu's house. That is to say, Nigerian army is a terrorist organization by carrying on terrorism in the home of the indigenous people of Biafra on the 14th of September 2017. And for the fact that the Supreme Court, in their attempt to hold Nnamdi Kanu back in detention, they now condemned the discharge and acquitted by the appeal court, thinking that because they knew that if they didn't make pronouncements, that the world is watching. So in order to play smart before the world, what they did is to condemn extraordinary rendition and condemn the invasion of Nnamdi Kanu's house, and then refer him back to trial. You know, they want to show the world that they want to maintain international law, but they cannot pretend because the issue is in the open. One, the army attempted to kill Nnamdi Kanu, he escaped. Then Nigerian government started telling the world that Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. That he need to come and stand his trial. He need to come and stand his trial. That's what they were reporting to the world. Even when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went to USA to meet the US senators, they asked him, why don't you go and stand your trial? Anywhere Mazi Nnamdi Kanu goes to, they will be telling him to go and stand his trial, which is to say, Nigeria said that he jumped bail, but from the judgment of the very Supreme Court, said that Nnamdi Kanu's home was invaded by the army. The judgment said that the judgment condemned the way the army invaded his house. That is to say, Nigerian army is guilty, and that is to say that the allegation that Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail is false allegation. That is to say, the world has started seeing Nigeria as Nigerian government as liars, because they told the world he jumped bail, but from their appeal court discharged Nnamdi Kanu, and Supreme did not agree with the discharge. They say you continue trial. Now, the same Supreme Court condemned the invasion of his house. It is contradicting. That is to say, automatically, Nnamdi Kanu should be discharged because the Nigerian government don't want him to stand trial. If they want him to stand trial, why do they invaded his house to kill him? Why have they not brought the army for trial? Then you from the judgment of the or from this pronouncement of the Supreme Court, they now tell Nnamdi Kanu to go and stand trial. But Nigerian army do not want Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial. Nigerian government don't want Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial. If they want him to stand trial, why do they lie to the world after sending army to kill him? Why do they send army to kill him when they want him to stand trial? So the issue there is that Nnamdi Kanu has been decided by the Supreme Court by this very pronouncement that he was extraordinary rendition, because the Supreme Court condemned the way Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria. Automatically, his arrest was illegal. Automatically, Nigeria has no ground to.
Mazi, let me not interrupt you. According to your word, he said the same Supreme Court condemned the eviction of our leader's house in 2017, right? Now,
Yes.
I want to ask, in a judiciary, if condemnation of one particular act is being pronounced, there are people who carry out this particular act. So did the same court demand for the arrest of those involved or the commander of those army? I want to know. Biafrans
Okay.
want to know, and the world want to know.
Thank you. From 20, was it October 2017, IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, they brought a suit and the Bintanyako didn't look at it. I was aware of another one on the March 2019, when they brought the same suit, or they filed the same suit before the court of Bintanyako, reporting that Nnamdi Kanu's house was invaded by the Nigerian army. But Bintanyako don't want to listen. Bintanyako threw the very suit away and was busy demanding that the what is it called? The shorties, those who signed Nnamdi Kanu's bail, that they should be brought to court. She was pointing at Abaribe, pointing at Jewish rabbi, pointing at Igbo business billionaire living in Abuja. Bintanyoko refused to point at the army. That is to say, Nigerian government refused to present the army which they sent to kill Nnamdi Kanu while his date of court have not come. So Nigeria have not even attempted to bring these people to trial. What they want to do is that they gave Nnamdi Kanu allegation that he jumped bail, because we still have another ground that Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail. Even apart from the invasion of his house, let us manage the Umuahia verdict of 19th of February, okay, 19th of January 2022. The verdict said on the State High Court, Umuahia State High Court, because Umuahia State High Court have the jurisdiction to what is it called? Attend to such case of the invasion of his house. Now, the judgment said that Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail, but he escaped military assassination attempt, and that Nigeria should pay him compensation, and that Nigeria should apologize to him at least from 3 front pages of newspaper, and that Nigeria should meet him for discussion. That is the referendum he is demanding for. Then, based on this, Nigeria have not even obeyed. I am talking about 2022. Nigeria have not even obeyed a single one. Now, why is it that Nnamdi Kanu jump bail suddenly go silent? We no longer hear it from Nigerian government. They say he jumped bail, but from what we are seeing, Nigerian army committed terrorism against Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya is the total destruction of Nnamdi Kanu, because based on the method of his arrest, which is illegal against Nigerian constitution and against international law, that is to say, Nigeria have no ground to try him. The Supreme Court that condemned the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, extraordinary rendition from Kenya, automatically have discharged Nnamdi Kanu from standing trial under Nigeria or in Nigerian court, because Nigeria have no basis to try a man that they illegally arrested. They should allow him to go. Then, if they want to arrest him, they can apply for a very normal and a very rightful, what is it called? A legal process. They should follow the legal proceedings. They should apply to the UK Secretary of State. But they didn't do those things. They carried on terrorism because the law, constitution said that any country that did such thing committed terrorism against the person. So Nigeria as a state committed terrorism against Nigeria, against Nnamdi Kanu, an individual, the leader of the Jesus people of Biafra. And the Supreme Court said that he should go and stand trial. And the same Supreme Court was the people that condemned his arrest. Now, we ask the Supreme Court, on what basis will he stand trial? Is it the same country that illegally kidnapped him? And also the same country that sent army to kill him? Is the same country that will try him? The same country that will prepare charges against him? That is what we are saying. And that is my stand. That the very judges of the Supreme Court, anybody that signed that very judgment must be a thief. And the person must be brought to book. Because such judgment should not be signed. Such pronouncement should not be signed.
Okay, Mazi,
imagine
Mazi,
judgment. Okay.
Mazi, hold on. Mazi, hold on. I want to, because on what I understand on the reading of that particular judgment on the 15th of December 2023, which was last year, and I acknowledge that the Supreme Court also condemned the extraordinary deduction of Mazi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. So, in all this condemnation by the same court, and they want to, at the end, they want to secretly sign a document that will keep the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Kanu, in detention illegally, indefinitely. So why would them trying to engage in such a shameful act to jeopardize the judiciary of a nation? And when the judiciary is completely collapsed, which means the nation is collapsed, I hope the Minister of Justice understand what he's doing, or may I say the chief justice of Nigeria understand this particular danger. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, on the charges, they wanted Nnamdi Kanu to go and face stand trial is charges of terrorism. So, and Nigeria committed terrorism against Nnamdi Kanu. Why must the people that committed terrorism against somebody be trying him for terrorism? And again, they added it treason. Treason on what? On who? Because that is what is in the Bintanyako's court. Then you ask them, if Nnamdi Kanu should face trial of the charges of 2017, those charges of 2015 that he was granted bail in 2017, because I don't know what is going to stand the trial for now. Is he going to stand trial on the remaining? They want the Supreme Court want Bintanyako to look into the remaining count charges that Appeal Court discharged, right? That's what they want, about 8 or 7 count charges. Now we ask them, where is the warrant Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail on? And where are the charges that are in that warrant, which he was granted bail on? There are charges he was facing the trial before he was granted bail on. Now, but what we saw in the charges against Nnamdi Kanu from 2021, that he was kidnapped from Kenya by Nigerian government and brought back to Nigeria, what we saw are charges that the date are 2018 to 2021. 2018 to 2021. Go and read the charges. The only old charge there is the issue of transmitter of 2015. It is like it is the 15 of the 15 amended charges. It's like that charge is number 15 of the 15 amended charges. Now, which charge will Bin Tanyako be trying Nnamdi Kanu on? Which charge do the Supreme Court want Nnamdi Kanu to stand the trial on? Is it the charges that Nigeria have been prohibiting from the courts? If Nigeria want to hear the charges that are already in that warrant, which Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail on, why do they hide that warrant and was coming up with amended charges in 2021 that they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu? Why do they tell the world Nnamdi Kanu jump bail? He refused to come and stand trial. And which trials are these? Trial they are talking about are the charges in the warrant which they granted Nnamdi Kanu bail on. These are the charges they said he should come and stand the trial. But when they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, what we saw are NSAS, unknown gunmen, attack on INEC office, attack on government facilities, attack on security formation from 2018 to 2021. That's the charges that they have been amending against Nnamdi Kanu in the court. So now, as the Supreme Court referred the case back to the Bin Tanyako's court, when Bin Tanyako have been running away, and Nigerian government have been running away from the particular warrant Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail on. So, what do Bin Tanyako want to look into now? Is it the original charges or the 8-count charges that the appeal court strike out and prohibited Nnamdi Kanu from standing trial?
Okay,
because
Mazi,
what we are seeing, Nigeria is confused. The judiciary is confused. The Minister of Justice is confused. The reason is that there are charges of treason that Buhari committed. So he charged Nnamdi Kanu treason. So Buhari committed treason 1983 December 31st. Now he kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu in Murtala Mohammed Airport. He now charged him for treason that he committed. Yes, no problem. We continued. Now, this very case have been discharged severally by Nigerian Federal High Court. This very case that they are sending back to Bin Tanyako. Adamola discharged this case. Bin Tanyako, what is it called? John Solo discharged this case. Because if you see that in this case, you would think as if it is fresh. Federal High Court 2015 discharged this case. Federal High Court 2016 discharged this case. Now, the same warrant that these courts have been discharging, the same charges is what they took to the court of Bin Tanyako and granted Nnamdi Kanu bail. The world should listen. The very warrant and the charges that this very honorable court, Federal High Court, court sitting in Abuja, presided over by Justice Ademola of the Federal High Court, 17th of December 2015, deciding Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. They arrested him without a new arrest warrant, now by any court. But they just disobey court order. They continue to the court of John Soro without any detention warrant again, no fresh one. The same warrant that Ademola discharged was the warrant they took to the court of John Soro because there was no court who granted them a new detention warrant. But Nigeria reluctantly, through their DSS, took Nnamdi Kanu to the court of John Soro with an illegal warrant because an already discharged warrant is illegal, cannot withhold anybody in detention. And Nigeria, in their lawlessness, took Nnamdi Kanu to the court of John Soro without a fresh warrant. They were based on the initial warrant that was discharged.
Mazi, hold on. I remember vividly about the outcome of the appeal court that when they discharged Mazi and the Kanu and the judges make it very clear announcement that no court should entertain the case of Mazi and the Kanu. It is written there.
And that is what is hold on.
wait,
That is what
wait,
is going on now. That
wait,
ruling, that thing is what is
wait,
going to Supreme Court. Only Supreme Court judge that is refused to sign that very
wait,
pronouncement that they refer back to the High Court, Federal High Court. That is a very serious problem to them. He
wait,
was prohibited
wait,
from trial.
wait, Mazi. You know, when a appeal court of the same nation acting and judging by the same constitution of that particular nation has come to that level of saying that no court has the jurisdiction to entertain the case of this person because it was stated as because of the crime committed against him. And what was that crime? Extraordinary religion
Extraordinary.
and the torture and the illegal torture. Now, that is apart. You mentioned something about what they're charging him about transmitter. With the knowledge I have concerning transmitter is a communication device which any man or any individual can can acquire. But after acquiring it and they bring it into a nation, if you want to go into a radio broadcasting or a television license, you will now engage government. And what was done was that he brought in transmitter into a nation which is normal importation rules. And they have never installed that particular transmitter to say that okay, he violates the law of the country for not registering that particular transmitter. So when you are saying that they are charging him, I see no charges yet because
Yes,
wait, because they met
I
that particular they met that particular transmitter while still in a container in a container where the transmitter was brought in into the country. So he have never made use of that particular transmitter. Then another area I want to touch is the area which they say they are charging him for terrorism. Now, can anybody, can anybody within the Nigerian territory, be it police, be it army, be it civil defense, or be it ordinary Nigerian, come out and testify before the world the engagement of IPOB or engagement of Mazi Kanu in terms of act of terrorism? Because what I know or what I understand about act of terrorism is when you go to a public place and planted a explosive device that will consume the life of innocent people, or when you go to a place of worship which Boko Haram have done severally, or you go to a village and massacre thousands and hundreds of people in a village. It is called act of terrorism, which Hamas is engaged on, which Meiti Allah is engaged on, which Boko Haram is engaged on, which Fulani henchmen is engaged on. So I have never in any record anybody will say, oh, we have seen IPOB engages in massacre of community or massacre in a marketplace or in a public engagement place. So sometimes I don't understand. So can you give more light concerning this? Thank you.
thank you, Mazi. Thank you. The issue is that they are just charging Nnamdi Kanu for terrorism as a charge that will be read out in the court. You know, what the court looks into is not your dressing or how your face looks innocent. What they look into is the charge. So what they do is to give you high charge. They know they are not winning the case. right? Just as a reason, because now in the charges against Nnamdi Kanu, if you go on what they are saying, they say that he said through a radio which was heard and received in the jurisdiction, under the jurisdiction of this federal Abuja, right? But people receive it in Lagos, we receive it everywhere, receive it in the same way we receive BBC, receive CNN, receive every other international broadcast or from radio. Now, in that again, they do not mention the address where Nnamdi Kanu broadcast from. They never mention address. They never mention date. So there is no charge there. There is no single charge of terrorism that they have date, because every crime must be carried on somewhere. There must be address, location where something happened. Terrorism can be carried on in any other way that is not planting what is it called, bomb or something. Just terrorism in the, but it must go through acting. Terrorism must be through acting. Terrorism is not by theory. No, he's trying to, hey, he's thinking in his mind to terrorize us. You must be mad. Terrorism is by acting. Just like you asked, where have we acted it? No way, we didn't act terrorism. We are fighting under self-determination. That is why they run away. That is why British is hiding. Because Nnamdi Kanu maintains laws. Because Nnamdi Kanu's radio did not commit any offense. Radio Biafra did not commit offense. And that is the basis of this appeal court, because 7 count charges was destroyed in the court of Intanyako. In the presence of Intanyako, out of the 15 amended count charges, 8 was taken to appeal court. Appeal court destroyed the 8 count charges and prohibited Nnamdi Kanu from standing any trial. So what we are saying is that there is no way they can be confident in the case of tagging or trying Nnamdi Kanu for terrorism. He didn't commit terrorism. Buhari is the one who committed terrorism. Even Shetima is a terrorist, you know. But when you ask them, where did Nnamdi Kanu carry on this terrorism? They said, according to the person they call his president, Buhari or something, or impostor, the one that met with Boris Johnson, when they asked him, what is keeping Nnamdi Kanu? Why have you not released Nnamdi Kanu? He said that he said awful things against Nigerians. The very impostor did not say Nnamdi Kanu bomb Lagos or he bomb Kanu or he bomb. He said awful things. Terrorism is not by saying. Terrorism is by act. It is called carried on terrorism. You carried on terrorism. It must be carried out.
Yeah,
It is not by magic.
Mazi,
Okay.
Mazi, do you remember when the former information minister, Lai Mohammed, during the impostor's administration, Lai Mohammed said something that I was like embarrassed, because I was embarrassed based on the man said I'm African. You know, when you find a fellow color, you know, being displaying stupidity before the face of the world. There is a way that, like in our place, we say a madman doesn't have shame. But people who are ashamed of that madman is the family members of that madman. Because a madman will walk naked. But people that will be ashamed of that particular madman is his siblings, his brothers, his maybe his children, or anytime they see the person, they will be ashamed of that person because of family member. I watched Lai Mohammed was explaining in one of the interviews. They asked him what exactly is the offense of IPOB and Mazi Kanu. And I remember that I will find that video. He said that the offense of Mazi Kanu is that he's trying to divide Nigeria. And the journalist asked him again, why are you not condemning Boko Haram? Why are you not condemning Fulani henchmen? He said those ones are bandits who kidnap, who kill, but they never talk about dividing Nigeria. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you hearing? Am I coming out clear to you? He said he doesn't have problem with those ones who are massacring and sacking villages, killing people in their thousands, because they never talk about dividing Nigeria. And the journalist went ahead and asked him, so is that the offense of IPOB and the Mazi Kanu for them? They are trying to divide Nigeria. He said yes. He made it very clear. He said this is the offense they commit, trying to divide Nigeria. And the journalist, I remember that one journalist made one kind of funny statement. He said, okay, anybody now who can go about killing people in Nigeria, so far the person is talking about one Nigeria, but is keep on killing people in Nigeria, is welcome in Nigeria. He said, no, 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 no. He answered the journalist, he said, no, 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 he's not saying that people killing people is welcome. The journalist said, but that is exactly what you are trying to tell me or tell the world. He now twisted. He said, no. He said, he now asked the journalist, do you support anybody that will come to disintegrate this unity that they are born together? The journalist said, no, that he is not supporting any disintegration. He said, oh, but Nnamdi Kanu is doing it. The journalist now asked him again, so is that the greatest offense of Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB? He said, yes, trying to divide the Nigerian state. So I think maybe that is the area of the terrorism they are talking about. Maybe a self-determination to demand for freedom or to demand for a separate state has become a kind of terrorism act in Nigeria law. So I don't know. Maybe we will ask one of the lawmakers of Nigeria to show us where it is written in the Constitution of Nigeria that anybody who is demanding for self-determination can be described as a terrorist. Please, I want you to deliberate on that and tell the world. And after this deliberation, we will give chance for those who want to call in, because I think people want to call in. Thank you, Maz.
Okay. Thank you. You know, through what you have just said here from Lai Mohammed, terrorism is legalized to the Northerners. Northerner can commit terrorism. It is not terrorism because the resources they are managing belongs to the people of Biafra. So, in order for them to be functional, they will be terrorizing the owners of the resources. But if the owner ever asks a question about the resources, you are now a terrorist. That is how the British planted Nigeria, because Nigeria is just something they planted, not to favor anybody. So, on this very matter, Nnamdi Kanu did not commit terrorism, and IPOB is not committing terrorism and have never committed terrorism. Terrorism is by acting, and the people have acted it from the north. Fulani acted, police act it, Nigerian army act terrorism because they are terrorists. All the activities are terrorism, but none of them can be presented in court because the invasion of Nnamdi Kanu's house, at least they are supposed to be people facing trial, at least from the army. But the person that carried on that very atrocity, because Nigeria is a terrorist state, he was later promoted the very 8th Division GOC at Ahiru. He was the one who also supervised Obibo massacre. He was the one who supervised Olu massacre. And he was later promoted to Chief of Army Staff or acting. Unfortunately to him, the same terrorists they funded, killing him in Kaduna, and they say it's a plane crash. So it is legalized for Nigeria to carry on terrorism on people. But if you say no, no, because what Nnamdi is saying is just like, let us be safe. We don't want your terrorism because Nigeria is a terrorist state. So they said no. Why must you be free from our terrorism? That's what they mean. So for you to say you don't want to be terrorized by Nigerian state, then you are a terrorist. That's exactly what Nigeria do. So in order to stop them from terrorizing us, they tag us terrorists. And that is why you see them promoting terrorism. That is why you see them even under Buhari or under Tinubu. Yoruba people are crying over terrorism of Fulani. But if you meet Yoruba now, they will tell you Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, because they have sowed that seed of, hey, don't divide Nigeria because Nigeria have never been together. So when you hear the language, dividing Nigeria, you know that they are talking about we want to destroy the lies. We want to destroy the lies. Because if something is one, nobody will be talking about dividing it. But because they knew that IPOB cannot organize tribes to divide Nigeria, just that the people of Biafra are demanding for referendum to decide if they will continue with the amalgamation agreement, which have proven Fulani invasion of our land. That very amalgamation approved Fulani to rape mothers, rape children, rape wife, rape daughter, invade farmland with the cow, terrorize, kidnap. The very amalgamation agreement legalized Fulani from wiping out community. And that is what we say. If we want to continue in this mess, then we will decide it by voting. Though our fathers did not give us any good reason why we are Nigeria or what they have gained. Don't worry, we cannot kill our fathers. They told us they don't know when Nigeria was formed. Now, let us decide if we will continue with Fulani terrorism, if we will continue with Fulani raping, Fulani kidnapping. It is left for us to vote that we want to become Nigeria, or we want to continue with Nigeria, or we want to be Biafra. That is what we ask for. But Nigerians prefer Fulani invading their land than people that call for referendum. That's why Yoruba people are today dying in silence because they promote terrorism. Fulani is now sacking them in Ogun State because they promote terrorism. The same Yoruba man, Ariwola, was the one who saw an already discharged case of Nnamdi Kanu. Ariwola, they decided that the case should start fresh. Then they asked him, what is the basis of Nigeria in trying it? Case that have already been discharged severally. It have no basis. Then why is it that the case of Nnamdi Kanu have not come up since that ruling? Because the very judgment have not been sent to be International Court. So why are they running away? Because their judgment is contradicting. Their judgment is contradicting. Appeal court to say he should not stand trial. That is to say he is not a terrorist. Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. Then why the Supreme Court say he should stand trial? That is to say a sensible judge, Supreme Court judge, will not sign. And if anybody refuses to sign, the document will not be submitted to Federal High Court. So based on this, Nnamdi Kanu did not commit terrorism. If he committed terrorism, he will not be getting discharged and acquitted, discharged unconditionally, discharged from different Nigerian courts. About 6 discharges we have secured. Ademola discharged Nnamdi Kanu, Johnson discharged Nnamdi Kanu, Ahmed Mohammed told DSS to go and obey the court rulings. What is it called? Appeal court. What is it called? Appeal court discharged Nnamdi Kanu. Federal High Court discharged Nnamdi Kanu 26th of October 2022 and said that he should be returned back to Kenya. How many discharges have we secured? So in everything, Nnamdi Kanu did not commit treason. That is why Nigeria is weak. That is why they're only applying the system of delay. But it will come to an end because the judges that passed that ruling in Supreme, they will face the very serious matter. That matter cannot be dissolved easily. The same thing Nnamdi Kanu promised them is what is happening. I will destroy you in your own court. And automatically, the confusion among the Supreme Court judges that warranted few idiots to accept the pronouncement of that stupidity they call judgment, which later tied them because those two condemnation of the invasion of Nnamdi house and the kidnapping of Nnamdi from Kenya, automatically, whatever the Supreme Court ruled on the favor of Nigeria, that very two pronouncement destroyed everything. Destroyed everything. So there is no basis for trying Nnamdi.
So,
Thank you.
thank you, Mazi Fearless Evangelist. You have given a very good, clear analysis on that issue. But I want to tell Biafrans and the lovers of freedom around the world and the entire world that we all are watching very closely concerning that particular judgment, and we are waiting for the outcome of those two judges. We want to see if this particular president would going to sack those two judges who have refused to be compromised against, collapsing the system of judiciary. I strongly believe that those two judges who refuse to collaborate with this shameful act are the people that Nigerians should honor, because they should honor them, because I believe that these are the people that we, IBOB, should be afraid of, because they want to preserve Nigeria indeed. But those ones who have accepted to be compromised are the people who is even giving us ladder to climb for what we are requesting for as a referendum. Mazi, there is important issue we have to deliberate on before people will begin to call in to air their view. The general public, we are on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. We are not on Facebook today because Facebook restricted us from airing this particular broadcast on their platform. So we are restricted there. So, but we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, we are on Instagram. Then I will advise you as well to download BTV Europe on your amp so that you, whenever we are live, you'll be able to hear or listen or view us live on BTV. Fearless Evangelist, sorry, I want to ask why the Funanis or why the other lawmakers that are representing their people being seen the activities of Fulani so far in Jos and in other parts of the northern Nigeria, how they are going about massacring and sacking people in their own villages and the community. Why would them allow, or where did the Mayeti Allah Fulani obtain the power or the authority to form vigilante group across the 36 states of Nigeria? Are you aware? Have you heard about that?
Yes, I had it. I had it. So, should I continue?
Since you had it, what I want to ask, what authorization or what rights, as Funanis are the, let me say, 4% in Nigeria as a whole, what right did the 4% population of people have over other uh, dominant of other race that make up that forcefully join in Nigeria? What right do they have to form vigilante across 36 states? And what do you want to tell the politicians from the eastern region, which is Biafra land, concerning this? Because I must say it the way it is. I want to make it publicly before the world, despite the British giving them the aid to this particular act of terrorism. Because I know that Britain is strongly behind them, because the British want Africa to destabilize so that they will control to extract the resources in Africa. Because Alade Mabu Rundense, like our fathers always said, when the land is in a disaster, that's when the British always get. But when the land is at peace, that means there will be law and order, and the things will be going on accordingly, which British don't never want in Africa to. They don't want such to exist in Africa. So, for my own opinion, I want to say that we dare not see them their operation or see them anywhere in the eastern region, which is Biafra land. If we see them there, we are going to crush them because these are the terrorist organization that these people have dished out to now circulate themselves around the 36 states. So I want to make it publicly to the United Nations. I want to make it publicly to the European Union. I want to make it publicly to African Union. I want to make it publicly to the government that matters around the world. That if we dare see any of them in the eastern region with the Biafra land, they can operate for those who want to allow them. If the Yorubas want to allow them in their land, they are free to operate in their land and kill them in their numbers. If the Hausas want them to operate in their states that made up the Hausa land, they can allow them. But we want to stand it as a warning, as the press release have been made concerning this, that we stand on that press release, that anywhere we see them, we bring them down. So I want you to, I think, you see, they are stopping our brother not to, but we will continue until he comes back. So what I want to say here before the public, that we don't want to see that terrorism organization in the name, in the disguised name of vigilante group across the nation. We don't want to see them anywhere. Anywhere we see them, and we want to send this as a warning to governors, to senators, to half of rep members, and to the traditional rulers, and whoever they have paid to support them in our land, that anywhere we see them, we are going to deal with them mercilessly. And it's not going to be funny at all. And I think what exactly the Britain want is what they are going to see through this particular arrangement, trying to use terrorists to surround the indigenous people in their own land. We are not going to allow that. Anywhere we see them, or in a disguise, or in anywhere, we are going to go after them. They must not operate in our land because terrorism is condemnable around the globe. So for those who want to call in, the number to call in is on the screen: plus 55 11 941 953 994. For those who want to call in, you can call in and air your view, and the world will hear you. So what I'm saying, the line is open. The line is open, and I think the operator of the studio have opened the line. So for those of you who want to call in, you are free to call in. So what I want to say, what I'm saying is this: we don't want to see Meretic Allah anywhere around Biafra land. Anywhere around Biafra land. We don't want to. They can operate in a territory where they are allowed to operate. But in our land, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, owns Biafra land. And we have come out to say they are not welcome anywhere around us. And that is where we stand. And there is another issue I want to deliberate on here today before our brother will be back, if they will allow him to be back, because they have been having challenge of the network. They are removing him, they are bringing him, they are removing him. So on the issue of those who are the advert of IPOB so far, and how our people obey that call to bring the investment home. And there is two incidents we are seeing, one in Enugu and one in Anambra. The listing, we have to say it the way it is in the international standard. Our brother is back. Our brother, I think, is back. I think our brother is back. Um, yeah, he's back. So, Mazi, fearless evangelist, before you were out from the studio, I was saying something about the formation of vigilante group across the state of Nigeria by the henchmen, by Fulani henchmen and Metis Allah. So, and the stand of IPOB concerning that particular announcement. So, I want you to put more light on that before we go to another topic. Mazi Fearless Evangelist, are you hearing me? He's not hearing me. He's not hearing me. So before he comes back, I want to say something concerning the incident we see on media on Anambra and the Enugu state. That is not a good sign that we are seeing from there. That sign is kind of jeopardizing the effort of our people. And if the two governors will be allowed themselves to use in this manner, I think it is a very big shame to them. Now, let me say it the way it is. The one we see in Anambra, we see where tax forces are destroying the goods of people, those who are selling around the road. But in developed world, no government allow sellers to be on the road. I must be truthful. But what we don't support is destruction of their goods. Underlying that, because IPOB stand for justice, we won't support disorderedness. No, we will always support what is good. People selling along the road in whole world is not allowed. There is no place it is allowed. There's no place it is allowed. Disturbing the public movement, no. But what we don't support is destruction of their goods, because how it is done in a developed world is that the government will come there with their task force and ask the people to pack away their goods. And the police will back up those task force and they will be there gently. Those people who are selling along the road will put their goods and arrange their goods and pack it away out of that road, and they will never come back again. So that is what we want to see them doing. When they go with their task force, let them command those who are violating the public movement by selling along the road to pack their goods and leave the road. We don't want to see them destroying people's goods. This is not good. And what we are seeing in Enugu, demolition of houses. I want to ask those that build those houses, did they obtain building approval from the state before building? If yes, then who issued that building approval? Those who issued that building approval should be brought to book and jail for issuing such approval to people to build. And the government should look into it. Sorry. So government should look into it. Government should look into it and find solution to that by knowing how to compensate those who own those buildings. Because we wouldn't want to see our people being drive away in Lagos, their property being destroyed, coming to their own land as well. Our own politicians will be doing the same thing. Because the area I am viewing it and people have called in and sent messages that it seems that the Funani and the Britain have advised the governors in the Biafra land to start doing the same thing they are doing to our people in the north and in the west, so that they will not be able to bring their business back home now. They will not take their businesses and their wealth outside Biafra land or even looking for another way in African country to go and invest. This is the report we got. So governor of Enugu and the governor of Anambra, should take note of this. Do not allow yourself to be used as a useful tool against our people who have decided to bring their wealth home. We don't want to see that again. And I think the leadership of IPOB is on it. They are still investigating the truth, or they are trying to investigate what happened that leads to that particular act by these two governors. So those who want to call in, you can call in, as I said, and contribute your quota in this discussion. And there are many other things that is going on in our land that I want to review here today on this television. Like our youth should be very, very careful. Our youth should be very, very careful. We have seen the one they are parading that their sister, his sister is trying to defend, and not only trying to defend, the sister also have brought out proof of her claim that the brother called her, telling her that there's somebody discussed a business to tarnish the image of the Ndigo, that will earn him 70 million within the 3 weeks. Now, people can be deceived since they know that the government and the British are desperate to destroy our people. So what they are doing now is going about confusing you with money. At the end of the day, it may not be what they discuss with you that you will see at the end. I don't know how far it is about the young man, whether he is a kidnapper truly or not. Yeah, Mazi, yeah, the video. Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, bring it.
Good evening, ladies
The
and gentlemen. Please, my brothers and
Yeah, this
sisters
is
from
what you're talking
Enugu
about
State,
here.
I beg, please make una help me tag the governor of Enugu State, because I don't understand what is happening in Centenary, guys. This is my house that I built. I know they do yahoo. I know they do. They fit come investigate. I know they do yahoo. I suffer every blessed day. You understand? To make my money. You understand? This is the house I do in Centenary. Everything I bought the land, everything is documented. Everything they here. I went to Lagos State. I came back. This is what I saw. Removed by. This is it. And this was the date. This was
12th.
on the 12th.
On the 12th.
You
And
understand?
Today is
Today is
19th.
19th. They came to Sentinel. I was sleeping. My boy have to wake me up and say, "Omo, they don't they destroy houses?" So, if you, let me show you around, guys.
Guys,
They
I beg,
destroyed
I beg.
all the houses. Look at. This is people's investment. Look at. See, and every houses in Centenary is damaged.
Every house.
Show them around.
Every house. Guys, we are just begging. We dey beg the
So,
government.
please,
If you have any
pass this
contact with the
message
government,
to the
I
government.
beg.
I beg.
I beg. His document,
I
everything,
beg.
dey
Everything
complete.
is
All the
complete.
documents
All the
is
this
complete.
is
He
my
no
house
thief,
in Enugu
he
State.
buy am. I beg.
Please, because they came here, they were threatening to destroy my house. They can't they even carry caterpillar come, they want to come.
I beg.
You
I
understand?
beg. I beg.
I'm just saying this
Somebody
so that the
please
governor of
see.
Enugu State can see. I beg, I don't do any bad
If
thing,
you
get
guys
money,
can
build
share
house.
this video, if you can share this video, God will bless you.
Please,
He's
share
having
this
high
video.
blood. I don't feel they wake up every morning. They worry about in health. Please, I'm
I
begging
beg,
you.
I beg.
I'm begging you.
They say more invest, more leave Lagos, come invest for her home.
We don't leave Lagos. So
We left Lagos.
don't
We
leave
came
Lagos,
to
we don't
Enugu
come
State
back
to
home.
invest. This is
no
our
peace
place.
of mind.
We
From
were
the
born
first
in Enugu
moment we
State.
bought the land.
We were born in Enugu State.
No peace
Please,
of mind.
please,
No peace of mind.
I beg.
If you
see,
move round, they don't scatter everywhere. They don't scatter everywhere, guys. If you go round, they don't scatter everywhere. Caterpillar is entering everywhere.
follow me. Let me follow. Everywhere in Centenary, they destroyed more than 200 houses in Enugu State today. Please, come, follow me. Oh God.
So what I'm saying, what we have seen here today, Biafrans, we have seen
Now
have seen
security
the
post with the day
disaster
so that we can.
you have seen the disaster going on in Enugu, and do you watch his statement that we urge them to bring back their investment home, and they have brought that investment home now, and look at what they are facing. And the people who complain, those who wrote and those who have complained so far on our inquiry line, they complain that it seems that they have given the governors of the eastern region order to destroy the investment of Ndibo, to cripple their economy. So when I read some of this complaint, I said, if at all this is the plan, can the same governor who these things are affecting their people carry out such order? What is the purpose and what will be their gain? Does it mean that this governor does not want development in where they are governing? What is this conspiracy going? What is this conspiracy is all about? So we wouldn't want such thing to happen. If you see the one of Anambra, I don't know if you have that Anambra one on our studio. If you see the one in Anambra, very shameful. Very shameful. I couldn't believe my eye that a governor that understands the plight of his people will be doing this thing to his own people. Then who are you governing? Who are you representing as a governor? We are not supporting that people should be selling on the road. No. Far be it from IPOB to support such thing. But why can't you do it in a good manner by coming there with task force and ask them, okay, pack away your goods. This is not the place to do your business. And the people will obediently unpack their goods, not to destroy their goods before their eyes. Why is it our people lack of good governance? Why? What is all these things about? This is why we come on here today, despite the disturbance of this network. The zoo are attacking this broadcast today. Like what we have deliberated concerning the delay of the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Kanu, how they pay judges and the two other judges refuse to be paid. They said no. If they do this, which means they want to support the collapsing of Nigerian state. That was the word of the two judges. They said no. They don't want to participate on that. You are talking about, they are telling the administration, you are talking about keeping one Nigeria. But your activity is showing that you don't want to keep the one Nigeria. That was what the two judges accused the administration of. Are you trying to pay us to now go against the constitution in order way to achieve your aim? So why I'm saying this thing is the world should take note. The world should take note on what is playing against the innocent people in that contraction called Nigeria. Nobody will love to be in a place where he will be intimidated, where his life is not secure, where his business is not secure. There is no human being on earth. So those who are saying that IPOB want to disintegrate Nigeria, they should take note of the activities of the government, of the people who are in government as well. Knowing that this may be the major reason these people say, okay, let us go on our own way and go and govern our people and give our people the happiness they need and the security they need and the support they need as government. Because this is going out of hand. It's going out of hand. Our people have suffered a lot in that contraction called Nigeria. Many of them have gone into their earlier grave due to the wickedness of the government of Nigeria against them. And life is not going to continue to be in this manner, where people will gather all their life and invest, and within a twinkle of a government without no notice, without no compensation, will just come and bring everything down overnight. is not acceptable by IPOB. IPOB will not accept this, and we stand by it. We will not accept any form of destruction of our people's hard-earned money. Enough of this. And for the Meeti Allah, I hope the state lawmakers across the Biafra land should also know that this is not welcome as well. How can you bring foreigners that you don't know who they are to come and become a vigilante? What do they call it? A vigilante is supposed to be carried out by the indigenous of that place, of that community, not by foreigners who do not know anything about. Not by foreigners who do not know anything about the background of the place. Imagine such dangerous group forming a vigilante group. So are they forming a vigilante group to come and survey the land and come for attack to wipe out the indigenous people who live in those communities? Is that why they are forming vigilante group? And our governors are keeping quiet, senators are keeping quiet, House of Rep members are keeping quiet because that's the wish of the Britain, so that the foreigners like them, because Fulanis are foreigner, British are foreigner, and they don't want the land to move forward. So they are not collaborating. The two foreigners are not collaborating, trying to establish what the easiest landing for them to carry out their mission. We said that mission is dead on arrival. We are not going to accept it. It is dead on arrival. Such mission will not take place as far as IPOB is concerned. Anywhere they are being cited, IPOB is going to go after them. So let them not risk themselves or risk their life in trying to carry out that devilish mission against us, because we will defend ourselves. We are going to defend ourselves against that plan. Ladies and gentlemen, and I think we will stop here for today. And when we fix things together, we will be back on air during this new week. Um, we will stop here today because since we are having this challenge on air today, and since I think they know that this is what we are coming here to deliberate, and they are beginning to attack us. Anytime they get their evil plan, this is what they do. They wait on media, knowing fully well that we are coming to explain to people the danger that surround their plan. So, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom, these broadcasts have come to an end. Today being the 21st of January 2024, being Sunday. So thank you for joining us. We hope that you join us during the week, and whenever we are coming, download BTV Europe on your arm, and download Twitter as well, because this is where we will be streaming steadily on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and BTV. God bless you all for joining, and I say to you all, stay safe and do not drink and drive. Be law abiding wherever you are as a Biafran. God bless you all.